Alright guys, we've done a lot on our list. Not that you knew what the list was before. Sorry I've been gone for a little while. It's a long fucking story. I'll save it for a vlog. But basically, there's a lot been done in the car. Right now we're going to focus on the install for the interior gauges. Let's go ahead and take a look. So here are the new triple gauges that I have installed. And we're going to go ahead and cover that. So we've got our 3 gauges. What I've done is I've disconnected this harness that plugs into the back of those 3 gauges. And I've grounded out my test light. And you can see this one is always on. So even though the car is off, even if I turn the car on, but all the headlights are off, give it a second, stop even. But all the headlights are off, so that light still works. So that's that top left corner of those 8 pins. And then the second one, that comes on only with the key. So if I hit that button with my knee, so that goes out. Accessory, and then on. And then the third, shut up. And then if you want it to dim with your headlights, yeah. So it's the 6th one, so it's the one underneath the empty pin. So power, always on. Ignition, blank, nothing, nothing, nothing. Then that third one is going to be with the lights. So you turn the light on, gives it 12 volts. Now the benefit of that is, turn that shit off. So the benefit of having that switch wire that turns on is our gauges actually have a dimming switch built in. So when we turn the headlights on, our 3 gauge pods here are actually going to dim down so they're not blinding us in the middle of the night, which is absolutely awesome. That's one of the reasons I love Glow Shift, is they've got those little things like that, those creature comforts that really make it a really nice street car that looks almost stock. Alright, so there's a couple of screws in the back of this triple pod. We're going to pull this out and dissect it over on the bench. Alright, so just 4 screws and it comes out to the bench. So as you can see, it's really, really close. So what we're going to do is just file out that inside where all those clips are, and this will slide right in. Alright, took about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get this ground down nicely the way I like it. And this is the first one that I did. It's a little snug, but it pretty much wiggles into place. So now this is finally done. We don't need that other plate. We can actually screw this straight in to that piece on our radio bezel, and we can just pop our gauges in like that. So we've got everything spliced in. Use some crimp connectors to get into those wires that I identified for you earlier. And then now I've got these 3 pulled in through the gauge pod here. And we're going to go ahead and test everything out, because there's no point in putting it all back together if it doesn't work for some reason. So this is oil temp. I'll put that as the first one. I'm just going to loose fit them in for now. Also, right now, I don't have any of the sensor wires hooked up. This is oil pressure. And then, of course, water temp. Alright, now once again, just loose fit. Shouldn't go on. Now that's on. Now obviously they're maxing out now because they're maxing out simply because there is not any sensors attached, so all the sensor wires are just hanging. And it seems like the dimmer switch doesn't work. That's kind of annoying. Also, so you can pick which color you want for your interior. You also have the option of color changing. So this one's just cycling through. And then you also have a progressive option that scans through. Now, of course, since we went ahead and chose to hook our unswitched wire to an unswitched source, that actually allows the gauge to have memory. So if we turn off the car and turn on the car, it'll go to the same layout. So currently I'll just leave it like that for the default because I'm unplugging these anyway. Let's get our test light. So yellow is the constant. Orange. For some reason the orange isn't turning on. And now we gotta troubleshoot that shit. So as you can see, we took out this plug that comes in the Nishimoto radiator. It's pretty much meant for this. Snug in there, everything should be sealed. We'll double check the seal later, of course. So the black one's going to go to ground, and the white one's going to go to our signal wire, which is our green wire on our water temp gauge. Now Glow Shift did include these connectors, so whatever wire we decide to splice in here, we can connect it and disconnect it as needed if we ever decide to relocate this to the head ports or something on the engine. That would give us a more accurate, more real-time reading for the temperature.
So I made this adapter out of some spare parts, basically from Home Depot. And basically for the pressure sensor, you can relocate it like this to get yourself some extra clearance. This only works for the pressure sensor. The temperature sensor must have fluid flowing over it in order to get an accurate reading.